One Piece news with Gobi, Jeremy, and Patrick. We're gonna go right into Emu. I can't wait any longer.
Okay.
Right? Can you wait any longer? Because I can't. The answer is no. I'm gonna speak for you.
Clearly we can't because we didn't answer.
We're going in. Yeah. Okay. We need to change this music to something creepier, but we're gonna lean into this chill vibe BGM that's playing right now. Emu, Black Leader, 4 life, 5k power. Attribute? I don't know. Faction? I don't know. We're gonna find out at some point. Maybe we'll see.
Wait,
Per
is it
the
actually
rules,
question mark on the?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is
Like on the
question
card
mark.
itself, it's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
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 I love it so much.
Oh.
Per the rules, you may not play cost 2 or greater events in your deck. Also, at the beginning of the game, play up to 1 Holy Land Marie Joa type stage from your deck. This is the first type of ability of this kind so far. Activate main once per turn. You may trash one of your Celestial Dragon type characters from play, or 1 card from your hand to draw a card.
Wow. So there's so much there. It's unbelievable. So the first thing that immediately comes to mind for me is I can't wait to play this leader, and then, or actually I can't wait to play like Red Zoro or something into this leader, and then when they swing at my buggy called Judge, and be like, I don't know what their type is. So I think there might be in the fact something about that, because it's like I'm like, I don't know, how do I resolve this, Judge?
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, it's like, is it slash?
Is it slash?
We don't know.
We don't know, so-
You don't know, Judge. But you're gonna have to make a call.
What's the rules when it comes to hybrid cards? Like if it's slash and strike, can it?
Yeah, then they can't kill buggy if it's
Oh, okay. So this is like. Oh,
it's relevant. Oh yeah, this
is so relevant.
Yeah.
It's they'll just kick you out of the room. Like,
Yeah.
Stop being annoying.
Yeah, that judge exam just gets harder and harder every.
Literally.
That was wild. Okay, so first thoughts here. I was like, finally, because we talked about this before, starting the game with stage.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can you, if the stage is so important to your whole game plan, build that into your leader or start with it. And they finally made that happen. And very interestingly, like, yeah, they could have built it into leader, but they also have a way to remove the stage, which we'll get into, which kind of adds like an interesting layer of interactions there, right?
Yeah.
The second part of it, I was like, Sokka? Wait, is this better? Because you can trash your character to draw a card?
Yes.
Too?
Yeah.
You can just search, get a card, and then trash your searcher, and then draw? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I want to say I called it too. I even said like, I bet you the leader has a built-in draw mechanic, because if the card has a drawback like that, it must mean the kind of the opposite of Blackbeard. It must have an inherent draw mechanism.
Yes. So to clarify, that's the Shalria card that's coming out, where it is searcher, but then you trash a card from hand after. But this leader allows you to then trash the Shalria that you played to draw a card and recover the card you trashed.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I think there's definitely like a couple of really interesting things here. The first one was, so you play the stage at the beginning of the game, and there's actually a specific phase where you play the stage. This happens before you set life. And so this is the first kind of really interesting thing, because I immediately was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, you can look at your deck and see what's in life if you had to search after you play life. But no, right? So there's this specific phase in the rules. So this is going to come out really before the start of the game. And so as an Emu player, what you're going to have to do is you flip over your leader, and you should just kind of have stage prepped, ready to go. Because as we were just discussing, one thing that's going to happen to so many people is they're going to accidentally shuffle stage into their deck, and then deal their life before the game starts. And so we talked about judge rulings last week, but if you really want to be that stickler for the rules, then once they've done that, it says up to, they opted not to play their stage. So if you forget and you shuffle your stage, you don't get to play it. Now we'll see how they rule on that. But once life has been dealt, I feel like that actually should be the ruling, because otherwise you're changing the randomization, you're changing the world seed, and everything's going to go a different way. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of one like technical, interesting note.
And you can't do something like put that card in a different sleeve, like a mini
Yes.
snap, and then because like then you would break the rule of it's in a different sleeve. So like it.
Yes.
So like.
Yeah,
so
and
many
the
weird.
stage can be destroyed, right?
Yep.
Different ways. So like it can't be in a different sleeve, because it could go into your discard, and then a card like Mancherry could return the stage back into your deck. So it has to be there. So that's kind of one really just interesting technical point to keep in mind. The other one that I missed on my first read through is that it's trash one of your cards from play, not KO. So when I first saw this character, I was like, oh, because one of the 5 elders on KO allows you to draw a card. I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. I can play this out, I can trash it and draw it too. No, or KO it and draw it too. because it's trash, you actually can. And so it's another thing to kind of think about. You can't actually trigger on KO effects with this leader. Which to me is almost a shame, because I kind of like the idea of being able to like play things and trigger their on KO effects, but that's actually not what this is intended to do.
Yes, and this is interesting because like I think I used to like love coping the idea of KOing your own characters, and there's only let me do this right. There's only 3 cards in the game that can KO your own characters, and it's Kaido, Linlin, and 7-cost Teach are the only cards that I believe that can KO your own board. Because I've looked for combinations to like try to do this, and I believe those are the only 3 that will allow you to KO your own cards on your turn. I believe no other cards can do that. They're all specified trash, because I was coping like a back then 4-cost 6k red Teach that can trash one of your characters. Like, oh, can I just KO my own things and have fun? It's like, no, you cannot. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
But so like, oh yeah. Rules nerd. I'm the same way.
Yeah. So it's cool that there's a bunch of new rules added. I think just as we were talking about the stage 2, another interesting piece is that they did choose to have this be a card in your deck. Like they didn't move towards like adding like an extra deck or something like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you kind of have these other decks that influence the game that come into play that you can access at various times. So still choosing to kind of stick within one deck. And then of course that means you are technically playing with a 49 card deck. That doesn't change deck building too much, but it is interesting that you get that advantage or disadvantage depending on how you see it, but it seems like an advantage just from the start of the game. So I think they were right when they said like it's kind of changing the way the game is played, and that use kind of this new paradigm. And I think they're really setting the precedent of doing this for more leaders. I think it's great because as we mentioned, we also don't like the idea of cards getting too stuffed with things. And so actually I like the idea of like, instead of making this all one leader effect, let's throw some of it on the stage. And then we can also have these kind of separate conditions where you can rest the stage and do an action, your leader can do an action on the same turn. It doesn't feel too overloaded. It feels like kind of discrete things that you're doing. So it's very, very cool from a design perspective.
Yeah, and I think Kobe, you want to talk about something, I know you want something, you're ready to go. Talk about it.
So we'll talk about the new stage that comes out, but the super interesting thing here is you can also play this old stage in your deck and choose which one you want to start off with, depending on your matchup, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Right? Like, very different styles of gameplay, especially in the early game, because this can be super useful in getting out your bodies in much more cheaper ways, right? And oh my gosh, I love that they allow this.
Yeah. And it's weird because it changes your curve a little bit, which is really interesting. Because one of the things I noticed was that it definitely leans towards a going second curve. At least that was my initial impressions, because you've got these 4-cost bodies, and even though the stage lets you cheat them out, it's nice to cheat them out for 3 and play something else. That feels like a really, really strong turn. And then when you're going first, it felt like there's a 7-cost, which we'll talk about all of these later, but being able to make that 7-cost a 6-cost so you could play it on your off curve could actually be very impactful. So just staying at a high level before we get into what each of the characters she plays does, I do think it actually just creates this very interesting contrast between like, do I want to like kind of change the way my curve works with this stage?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to get into it now, but also I think let's save it for when we talk about the KO stage effect.
Yeah.
But just talking about also reasons for running this stage as well, because there's additional reasons beyond that option of starting at the beginning.
Yeah. And for those who are watching at home and saw that the stage is called Marriage Was, like the reason why the translation says Holy Land Marriage is just because in the dub, I believe, the dub translation is that it's called Marriage Was. They don't call it Holy Land Marriage Was. So it's just a difference between Japanese wording and translation and versus like West. This is still a usable stage. Both stages in the West will be called Marriage Was and fulfill this condition still. It's just a difference in translation between Japan and here. I had to check that because I was almost concerned that maybe it's because they were doing that to limit your ability to find it. That's not the case. Both are findable. It's just the way that the East and West have it translated are different. So don't be like, whoa, you can't do that. Like, it's just translations.
Yeah, and one more interesting thing to call out is this is a monocolor for life 5k power leader.
Yeah.
Right? I think the only other one right now is NL.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we'll get into, it'll have the option of becoming a 6k leader, but I think it's only on your turn. Anyways, we'll get into that. Any more thoughts on this before we move on?
No. I think you have a thought. Yeah.
One last thought is, okay, so make a Whitebeard leader that can bring up Moby Dick at the beginning of the game. Like, I think that would be so much fun. Make it red-blue so you can choose which Moby Dick comes out.
Okay, let's relax over here. Okay.
Do you want this Moby Dick or the other one?
All right. Just
Which
for
one would you
completeness. Just for completeness. So the audience
Actually,
is aware
that'd
of
be
the
crazy though
shenanigans.
if you could like choose between those two Moby Dicks.
Yeah, there are crazier things, but that would be particularly crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing to call out here. This is the base art. We talked about this in a previous video.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy was like, it would be cool if the base art had like the butterflies. And I was like, okay, so is the alt art just the eyes? Because it's a face leader? And it's like, wow, that's like, it's not a courageous thing to do where it's like most of the card is just black and you just have mostly one eye and shadow and slight other eye. But this character has been so impactful as a silhouette. I've never seen this happen in any other franchise.
Yeah.
When it has an actual face reveal, it's gonna be almost jarring to see like a person behind it. Maybe. I don't know.
It could be like Ado, where they just like she never reveals her face because it's like at a certain point you're like, well, I kind of got to keep rolling with this. Like it's kind of working for me.
Yeah, or like those Oda figures that they revealed recently, where it's just the fish on a body.
Yeah.
I love that.
We later find out it's not even the eyes; that's like the nostrils. It's like really funny. Like that's gonna happen. I swear.
That'd be incredible. Okay, and here is the stage, the Empty Throne. Black stage, 7 cost, Holy Land Marijoa typing. Your turn. If your trash is 19 cards or greater, give your leader 1k power. Activate main, you may rest this card and 3 of your Dawn cards. Play from your hand a black 5 Elder Stars type character that has a cost equal to or less than the total number of Dawn cards on your field. Wow. What an impactful card.
There's a lot there. It's very interesting. And there's 2 parts. The first part of the your turn, so just to clarify, that means on your turn, it goes plus 1,000. It goes back to your opponent's turn, it loses plus 1,000. Then when it comes back to your turn, it's plus 1,000 again. I think people were asking, like, does it stack plus 1,000 turn after turn? I don't think that's how it works based on kind of the way it's been written. But it's also like a very weird effect. I'm not sure why they included that as well. Like it's kind of interesting to become like a 6k leader with this condition. It feels like they want Emu to be able to trade in to 6,000 power leaders after a certain point or something like that. So it's definitely an interesting kind of addition to what I assume is the main part of the card, which is the activate main effect. That really allows you to kind of get your engine going and play out your bodies for your turn.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it took me so long to realize, like, one of the reasons is because it's not leader locked. I was like, wait, hold on, can you play this in technically any deck? Can you technically be...
That's true.
If you want to spend 7 Dawn on it, you can.
Yeah.
No, because I made me realize, like, you can, if you were any other black leader and you play this stage on 10 and then rest the 3, you can play the 10 drop.
Well, okay, so I think the 10 drop has a lot of stipulations.
That one, yeah. But what I mean is, like, it's kind of funny that, like, I'm gonna do something stupid like that on, like, the most irrelevant black leader. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
But I may almost wonder if, like, maybe that's why they, like, made it so generic, or like weird, like, oh, because maybe their plan is like there's another Celestial Dragons or like Holy Land like leader that's gonna use it too.
Or the true King of the World.
Oh yeah, like
Emu.
If these support cards end up being support cards for like revealed Emu too, it'd be like,
that'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be such cool foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so it basically lets you cheat out your elders is the main thing, and it makes it so that when you're learning the deck, you're going to have to just think about your different curves, because you're going to be able to play like a 4 cost for 3 or a 7 cost for 3, and it just makes it really interesting to try and figure out like what to pair with what, as well as it allows you to leave up Dawn to play events and things like that. So it's very impactful. And then what I found testing the deck is that you get to 19 cards very fast. Yeah. Surprisingly fast. I mean, there is a little bit of a roll to that, of course. That's kind of like Teach, where if you high roll and you see like the equivalent of This Is My Era, where you fill up the trash, you can get to this point getting close to your 10 Dawn turn, and it actually is impactful. When I first read it, I was kind of like, 19 cards? That's going to take a while, but it's surprising how when you're playing events, you're trashing 2 cards, you're trashing 1 card per turn, you're switching your deck. Like, I was very quickly getting to the bottom of my deck and being like, wait, do I need Manchury to put cards back? Because I'm going to run out of cards. So it's like, don't be deceived. It happens quite quickly with this leader to get that plus 1,000.
Which is why they made it so you can't play I Want to Live, right? Because they just knew it would be too broken if Emu could use I Want to Live.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's pause here for a second, because it looks like the camera is dead.
Camera dead though.
Is that possible? Did it overheat? I guess that's
It's on battery, right?
It's on battery, yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna go stand behind Kobe now, and then we'll all just be
Yeah, we'll all just be right here.
all up in there.
So it's on battery, it's plugged in. I guess it overheated.
Gotta do the old turn off and turn on.
Yeah, that trick. It does feel kind of warm, but like we haven't had this problem before. Yeah, well, we should be back.
Yeah, it's good enough. What?
Nice.
There we go.
Great troubleshooting.
But yeah, cheating out these. I also love cards that are like written this way. Like there's a card in Magic that I love that is very similar, where it's like you can only like it lets you cheat out cards, but it's limited by like essentially in Magic what would have been your Dawn count. So even though you're cheating out cards for free, it still holds you back based on your max. So I think that's like, to me, that's a very thoughtful way to like manage like how you cheat out stuff for free. Like I think like I even like this more than how Buggy does. Like if Buggy was closer to something like this, I think it would be better. Like instead of it just being like 5, anything. Because then it just feels like you're objectively getting an improvement, and it makes the balancing different. This feels very like you can still build your deck in the normal way, but you just have this additional advantage now, or like this kind of thoughtful way to cheat stuff out.
Yeah, and we'll see when we look at all the characters, but the way they've actually designed the characters works really, really nicely with this as well, in terms of like the way they're statted and the way they feel.
Yeah.
Interestingly, like I think throughout the game, this doesn't feel as impactful as you would think, this ability, until you get to 10 Dom, which is kind of when the big final boss thing happens. But actually, up until that point, it does feel relatively like a nice flow to the leader, and it makes it feel very fluid because you're able to kind of plan out your turns in specific ways and play like 2 bodies in a turn, and on turns when you normally wouldn't be able to. And so there's some thought that goes into that. So it's kind of interesting. It's a neat mechanic.
Yeah. Also, if you do choose to start the game with the 1-cost event, at some point you will need to spend 7 Dawn to play this one. So there is a cost to playing out cheaper bodies earlier if you take that route.
Yeah, and it's a huge cost. It's a cost that I don't think you can really afford to play at any point in the game. I think it's given 7 cost with the intention of starting off that way. I just don't, I don't think you'll ever be playing another one of these in a game if it got destroyed or if you forgot to play it or something.
Forgot to play it, yeah. Yeah, that's rough. It'll happen.
Yeah, I don't know how,
Okay, and we've got an event here. Never Existed. This is a 1-cost event with typing Celestial Dragons and 5 Elder Stars. On main, you may rest 1 of your Dawn if your leader is Emu. KO up to one of your opponent's cost 7 stage cards. I think we just recently saw a cost 7 stage card. That's weird. And the counter option, if your leader is Emu, give your leader or one of your characters plus 4k power for this battle. I think this is the first time a hybrid event can also apply to a character. Is that true?
Ooh. Yeah.
Your leader or one. Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and a straight up plus 4k too.
Yes.
That's an extremely efficient value.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you're facing another Emu in the mirror, you can just destroy the stage for 2 Dawn.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot. Okay, so this one's really, really interesting. So I guess so first of all, just with testing, this as a radical beam is exceedingly powerful. You are very easily able to find this card because you cycle through the deck so much, and you're also able to leave up Dawn. And so in one of the games I was testing, I literally felt like a purple deck. Like at the end of the game, I had like done everything I wanted to do, and then I was sitting there with like 4 of these in hand. It's like, good luck getting through this. Like you're just not going to. So plus 4,000 on a very highly searchable card in a deck that cycles feels strong. Now the other part of the effect, this is fascinating to me. I really, really would love to know what Bandai is going for with this, because in one sense it seems like a way of artificially preventing Emu from ever becoming like a tier 0 deck, because as soon as you get a lot of mirror matches, you have to account for this, and then do you let your stage get destroyed, or it kind of seems like you have to now play the 1-cost stage as well, taking up additional slots, which limits the flexibility to now adapt to other meta decks. And so it does, like when I first saw it, it seemed to be like a way of kind of making the mirror really, really miserable, and so and forcing you to actually account for the mirror in a certain way, to prevent the deck from just becoming overly strong. I can't really think of another good reason to do something like this, because you're basically making a 1-card counter for a deck, which is typically bad design. But I'm wondering if it's kind of this way of limiting the ceiling of the deck, then I actually think that might be a cool way. It's also just a way of being like, yeah, your mirror match might be miserable, to kind of make that kind of like a downside to playing the deck.
No, I love that. Yeah, I don't think that's been as obvious in other mirrors as much as it has in this one, where it's like you can easily run 4 of these. It's such a good card, right? All you need is 2 Dawn, and boom, there goes that 7 cost stage. And we'll get to the other cards afterwards, but if you want to play that 10 cost body, you spend all 10 Dawn on it, then you wait the next turn because you need to rest another Dawn to actually use its effect, right? So maybe it is the intention of, okay, here's a very interesting and potentially very strong leader, but if it goes rampant, you're going to have to deal with facing the mirrors yourself.
Yeah. So I think that's one line of thinking that I had. The other line of thinking I had is that actually without this, the mirror goes too long. And so you actually need this. You need to actually both pop each other's stages so that you have to pay the full cost for the 10 cost. So that like you end up basically very likely playing it down, maybe swinging with it, and then getting value from it on the next turn because you just won't have enough Dawn to actually use the effect because you have to rest a Dawn. So it's you have to play the card, wait a turn, and then use it. Because otherwise, in the mirror, what tends to happen is, even in my testing, is I was finding multiple copies of the 10 cost. And when I was playing against Maya on UP-Luffy, I was dropping like 2 to 3. And the games are already starting to go quite long for that reason, because every turn I'm playing on a full board, I'm playing on a bunch of blockers, I can stall forever. And so I was also wondering if when they were testing, it was just like the mirror match of everybody, of you playing 2 blockers every turn, back and forth, trading into blockers, going into time all the time. And this is kind of a way of artificially limiting the amount of 10 drops that get played in a given game in the mirror.
In the mirror, because I haven't tried the mirror at all, would you ever just pick the other Marigua stage so that way they can't remove it?
Yes.
So like that's one of the strategies, right?
Yeah. So you just pick the other stage, and then the idea there is that now neither of you can use your stage, and so we don't get to this problem of the 10 cost. Or if you want to use your stage, you have to delay yourself significantly and pay 7 Dawn to use it, and also you're probably only going to be running 1 copy of said stage, so you might not see it. And so I think it's there's some consideration that they've put in here. There's a reason they've done this, obviously, right? This is very interesting.
Man, the agenda is just so obscure. It's so
very
evil.
well thought out. Yeah. There can only be one, right?
Right.
There's
Probably
supposed to be
it's
0.
like a story reason, like there's a narrative reason for why, like in another. Well.
Yeah. That is interesting. It might like I'm thinking way down the line, there's like a Joy Boy leader that has a 7 cost stage, and he was like, no, you can't have it. Oh man.
Yeah, because both sides of it are leader locked too. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very interesting card.
Love that so much. I feel like I had one more thought. Yeah, maybe you do run multiple 7 cost stages because you can trash them easily. Is that true? Let me just run back to here. No. Yes. Yeah, you can just trash any card from hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think the cost would be too much to play it. Like I think in the mirror, if it gets popped, it's popped. And I don't think there's enough deck building slots as well. So I think that's like they're functioning on just kind of a bunch of different things happening here by printing this card. And so I think the more you dedicate to playing around this card, again, you're gonna have to play multiple stages, which you don't want. You're gonna have to play things that hit the consistency of the deck, and that will not be good for a lot of matchups. I think the deck is going to end up being very finely tuned, similar to the way Teach is finely tuned.
Yeah, and people will hold up like 2 of these event cards anyway. If you play back-to-back 7 costs and people spend 2 Dawn just to remove it, you're super behind at that point.
And I think this is going to be a 4 of in every deck, every EV deck. So it's a natural kind of way of stopping this.
It means
you're gonna see it, and it felt when I was playing this felt like so important to staying alive. So I think you're gonna go for it.
Searchable Rad Beam. You don't have to be at 2 life.
You don't have to,
whatever you want.
Yeah, and you, like I said, because of the stage, like you very often have an extra Dawn. Like you really do, especially depending on the curve you're playing. So it's easy to just kind of do like the thing that UP does with the Gear 2, where you're like, I'll just use this now.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. You swung 8. Okay. There you go.
There you go. The 5 Elder Stars are here. Black event, 1 cost. This is 5 Elder Stars and Celestial Dragon typing. On main, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with the Celestial Dragon's type, and add it to your hand, then place the remaining cards in your trash. With the trigger, activate this card's main effect. So this is the typical black search top 3 and trash the rest.
Yeah, I just wish it didn't have the trigger. I mean, I get they're just kind of doing it generically across colors. I like having subtle differences between colors. There's going to be a lot of situations where against Ibu, you really want to try and KO the first body that they play or deal with it in some way if you're a removal deck. And so hitting this off life and then getting to that 7 point after like an early turn, like a turn earlier than they should have, will feel bad. And so I don't think it needs to trigger off life. Like, you have
Sorry, the 7 point?
Yes. Yeah. So for we're going to talk about later all the different bodies, right? That Emu plays.
I see.
And for all of them, they get protection, right? Once you get to 7 cards in trash, and so you're basically the first game plan of Emu, so you get to 7 in trash, like every game that has where you're against a deck that can remove. And so I just don't like the added variance. Like it's already like you can already high roll and draw like 2 of these on your 2 on turn or 2 of the Searcher and play this out, and then you're already at 7 by the next turn if you're trashing. With your leader effect, so that you already have a high roll. This just feels like a higher high roll. Yeah. Whereas like if they get this out of first life, it's kind of like that doesn't feel good. So,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. I wonder how that'll play out. It feels like a high roll, yeah, but also it feels like it's so guaranteed almost. Like, how do you not hit that in like 90% of your games?
I guess that's true. Yeah, I mean the thing is that like it is you're playing a 2 Searcher deck. Right, and so if you think about it that way, like there's lots of times when I'm playing a two Searcher deck where I don't see the Searcher. Is the idea? Think about it playing Teach. Like you have so many games where you're like, oh man, where's my era, my ideal start? Let's say going second, and so I do think like, and that might be why they want the trigger in there because they don't want that to happen. They actually want you to be able to build the trash early.
If you get run down too quickly from an aggro deck, then it's a kind of a recovery mechanism.
Yeah. So I mean I get it, but it's just it does feel like a little bit like there's a little bit excessive. I want some games where they have to where that is a consideration. Like how do I get enough cards in trash? Maybe I have to counter here when I normally wouldn't to get a card.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, because like I mean, having to spend the 1 Dawn isn't that like
that
like bad if you're forced to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, the deck can do that, and I like making people think. Whereas this is always like,
that's fair.
Just like, yeah.
5 Elder Stars, black character, 10 cost, 12k power. / and special attribute, and this has 5 Elder Stars typing, Celestial Dragons typing. Activate main. If your leader is Emu, you may rest 1 of your Dawn and trash 1 card from your hand. Trash all of your characters, then play from your trash up to 5 Elder Stars type characters with the power of 5k that all have different names. That's kind of hard to read. Yeah. This art is gorgeous. I love looking at it.
It's so cool.
Yeah. So this was really interesting when it was actually revealed. I think this one came up first, and it was kind of just like, oh my gosh, you do the Transformer type thing with like Judge, where you just like get rid of it and then bring out all the 5 bodies. What will those 5 bodies do is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think the interesting thing is that trash 1, right? The rest of Dawn, the stage allows you to get around that because now this only costs 3 Dawn to play, right? But if you don't have the stage, you can't get around that. So that's just kind of, I think, why that cost might be there. It's kind of interesting. And then, of course, you have the cost of trashing a card, but it's not really a cost. And then I think it's just also interesting to note that, of course, they trash all characters. So once again, you're not getting any KO effects from this. But this is like a crazy boss monster. Like it's actually, like when I was playing against Maya with this, I would like play this, put out 5 cards, and then just like play it again next turn and just leave the 5 there because there's no point putting it. It's just like every turn you're just full board. Oh. It's really neat. It's a very cool like finisher, I think.
Yeah, like this feels weird saying, but like worst case, it's a 3 cost 12k body. Like, is that what I'm looking at here?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting. It will be an interesting decision point because there actually are times where you might just want to leave this untransformed for a turn to like swing into something big or to hit like certain numbers because you can always transform it later. So it's just like it's a crazy card.
Ooh. Which one of the elders are you guys first looking at whenever you see this card? I keep looking at Warcury over here.
He definitely stands out.
He's so round.
Yeah.
That mustache though.
Yeah. And he cannot. If the 5 elders swing at Buggy lives. To your point earlier, they have slash type.
Oh,
Buggy the counter to the
Buggy goated. Buggy counters.
That's wait. Okay, hold up. So the only reason they have the slash attribute is because of Samurai Gandhi over here.
Yeah,
Nusjuro, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
One guy holding them all back. They can't beat Buggy.
Killing Buggy.
Yeah. Buggy's just there, and they're just looking at us like, could you have not shown up to work today? And like, could you have just like stayed home today? You knew we were fighting Buggy. You knew.
Fighting the Buggy.
The Buggy.
They're about to attack Buggy, and he points. He points at like, huh? Wait.
That's a good one.
Democratic rule. He's right. We have a slash character with us. We're not allowed to touch him.
Democratic rule.
He has like diplomatic immunity because of the presence of a sword.
Oh yeah. Okay, here's the real meat.
Yep.
Jaygarcia Saturn. Black character. 4 cost, 5k power, 1k counter, 5 Elder Stars and Celestial Dragon. If you have 7 or more cards in your trash, this character cannot be removed by your opponent's effects. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with the 5 Elder Stars type and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about here.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'm staring at the art and like, wow.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, that art reveal, all of that was like a really special moment. That was with the message. Like, it was great. Like, the art is amazing. I think there's been a little bit of controversy because these are actually the SPs. There's going to be alt arts and SPs. I think everyone was kind of hoping these were just going to be the alt arts. Nope, gotcha. These are going to be SPs, but they look.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Just because it didn't say SP on the.
Oh, I don't know if they're okay. Yeah, I don't know if they're taking up an SP slot, but they're like special. Is what I'm,
Okay.
Yeah. Let me correct myself there. These are rarer to get. This specific version with like the cool number in the top left.
Yeah.
Like,
the pentagram on the cost. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, exactly. Like all of that. Like that's not the regular alt art, which people were kind of maybe hoping it was going to be. But I think it might be for the best because now the regular alt art won't cost you 150 Canadian dollars.
Yeah. There's also like I feel like those kind of like JJK fans may randomly be like, you know what? I'm gonna get these because they look sick just because they like Akutami's art. But like, whoo. Yeah. So sick. I have like no words because it's just like I want these, but at the same time I'm like, oh man, am I getting like maybe I want to get one of each, and I'm like, oh, but then
I know.
That's gonna be so hard to even do. Just that.
I want to play this deck at Nox already so bad. Can you imagine? It's gonna look so good. And then when they add in like the final pieces, like some of the, like the searchers and all that, like they always do. Like this deck when it's finally complete will be a beautiful thing. There was one thing that I forgot to mention on the 10 cost, which I thought was interesting, was the stipulation that the 5 Elders cards have to have 5,000 power, which we're seeing here. So I guess before we talk about them, we'll say there's 2 things. They all come in at 5,000, right? And they all have that stipulation of 7 cards making it so that you can't remove them. Mm-hmm. But to my earlier point, the reason I think it's interesting is it allows them to print other Elder cards that have different amounts, other than 5,000. So I think that's that's why that's there specifically. So they can print other copies of these cards, or they can do kind of neat things surrounding these cards for that reason. Mm-hmm. So that being said, they all have that. You're not removing anything that Inu plays, so just accept it. Like this is Bandai saying, removal decks, your time is up in the sun. This is like a buggy type, moment in a One Piece TCG. These are not getting removed. And then specifically for what's this guy? This is Saturn. Okay, I've been calling them just like bird.
Bird form.
Spider.
Yeah, bird, spider. Yeah. So this is your searcher. Okay, so it allows you to just do a search, and this is crazy when you play the 10 cost, because of course you trash a card from hand, and then you play a searcher, and you just get to draw another 10 cost. So this is unbelievable. On your 4 Dawn turn, this only costs 3, so you can play this out, and you can swing 6. You can play this out. You can play out another searcher. As you mentioned, Kobe, this can be trashed to draw a card at any time, so it can actually like plus you again, which is a really, really nice play. You swing with it, and you just trash it yourself to draw. And not only did it replace itself, it gave you a +1. So this really does feel like a very engine part of the deck. I think this will always be a 4 of in the deck. And similar to what we were saying about like the Zoro earlier, where you've got like this really well statted character, it is like kind of like a 3/5, even though you can't play it until 4 Dawn. It's kind of like a 3/5 that replaces itself. And then last point, all the elders have counter, so you can get them in your trash very easily. So this is not a problem.
I noticed that. I was like, damn.
So not only can you just trash them with your leader effect, you can also counter with them. So it's possible to really like, these guys are getting in the trash all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man. So technically, if you just have 1 max rated copy, you could just keep bringing back this one with So I wouldn't have to really max rarity 4 copies.
That's a real pro tip here. This character cannot be removed by your opponent's effects, which is why you can trash it with your own effect. I feel like, man, the lore in the card game has extended past the anime into the
Yeah.
manga, so I'm not even going to talk about why the on-play is so lower accurate.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one.
I was shocked by that too. I mean, we talked about that, Kobe. I think the day of, I was saying like, I don't think they're going to do this and get ahead of the anime, but they did.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad they did because these cards are amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's definitely, they're making a statement. They're taking a stance. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad we started, reading the manga to stay caught up because.
Yeah. Eventually, to stay caught up, you're gonna have to read the card game.
That's crazy. Okay. Now we're in Jupiter. Saint, Shepherd, Jupiter, black character, 7 cost, 5k power, 5 Elder Stars, Celestial Dragons. This is 2k counter. That's fun. Same stipulation, trash is 7 or more, can't be removed by opponent's effects. During your turn, if your trash is 10 or more, give all of your 5 Elder Stars type characters a base power of 7k. During your turn.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is very, very interesting one of the Elders, I think. First of all, because it's a 2k, and it's also like you're kind of going first curve. It feels like a strong play on your going first curve specifically because it costs 7 Dawn and you can kind of play this out on 7. And of course, going first, you tend to be a little bit more aggressive, and so this is going to give the card that you played on your 5 Dawn turn plus 2,000, which feels really, really good. Additionally, I found myself also playing this on like a 9 Dawn turn to buff up 2 things. But what I was finding with this card, and what was kind of tricky about it, is that, of course, it has a cost. Is if I want to give everything 2,000 power, I lose a 2k from my hand. And it was surprising to me how often it kind of came up that actually I wanted to really play this in the mid game, especially going first, but even going second on the 8 Dawn turn. I felt like I kind of needed to get this out to buff up those bodies to put down enough pressure. So that I kind of felt safe going into my 10 Dawn turn, or they had to start thinking about swinging at my board or things like that. So I like this kind of trade-off. There's a duality here between like, do you want this as your 2k, or do you want this as kind of like a very fundamental engine on your board that allows you to put pressure? You have to choose. So it's kind of cool.
It's also interesting that this is like, it's augmenting the base power. So like, I had to look it up just now, but like, Lucky Roo can't KO the Elders, which is like one of the weirdest interactions of like, because it's the base power that's being affected, like base power, eccentric effect, which is like, there's only like maybe 2 of them in the whole game. It can't, because the base power is the things being changed, so it's not like an augment. It's not saying just like plus 2,000. It's making it so that it's also not Lucky Rooable, which all these like sometimes these weird layered conditions, and I have no idea what the like. I'm trying to think about why they made it base instead of like just plus 2,000, and I can't fully,
because they don't want you to play 2. That's why.
Yeah,
because you could very easily play 2 in the same turn.
Not because they hate Lucky Roo. I get it. I get it.
No, but it does add layers of complication that will eventually become more relevant as this converges.
Oh yeah, and the 3 cost counter event, the KO's 5k or less.
Yeah.
The Usopp event or whatever it's called. I forgot. Or you can't.
You could never defeat me.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just gonna spend a minute finding it now.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I think what's really interesting about this card too is like, there you go. It really it does really pack a mid game punch. Which I think people might be underestimating.
7K.
So, for example, when I'm going second, I can play out 2 bodies. So let's say I play like my searcher guy on 4. I play out the bird guy, who we'll see in a second, and then I play this out for 3 Dawn, and they're both 7k bodies for 3 Dawn, right? So I've still got 5 Dawn to work with. So for example, against UP, I'm able to go like 888.
Ooh.
Right, like or put down a lot of pressure, or against the 5k leader, like it's like 7/7, and I've still got enough Dawn to do a host of things. I can play another searcher out. Like it feels really, really crazy, and it also feels crazy when you kind of high roll into a lot of Saturns. So you're like, let me play Saturn, draw another card. Let me play Saturn again, draw another card. Let me play this, make Saturn 7,000 power for 3 Dawn, and then I'll play another Saturn. Like it's crazy. Like you could be sitting there with this huge, massive hand, and you're like, yeah, let me trash Saturn so I can draw another. Like. It's really, it's hard to like understand how much mid-game pressure it is when all of a sudden those 2 bodies become 7k or potentially higher swings.
Is this the only announced Celestial Dragon 2k so far, and or in the game? Is one thing I was curious about. I think
so.
Like which to your point makes it really meaningful, right? Because you have to really decide like, do I need this? Because if it's the only searchable 2k in the deck, I think for Celestial Dragons.
But they're gonna.
But they're gonna give more.
They're
but
gonna print another one, I guarantee. But yeah.
It makes it a meaningful because I feel the same way with Buggy. Is like
Yeah.
oh like the fact that you have such a great 2K. Like it used to be that we were worried about we make too many good 2Ks that like your deck could just be all 2Ks. But now it's like with how Buggy plays, like when I look at my 2K like Kaba G blocker or like Moji, I'm actually trying to make this hard decision. It doesn't feel overpowered. So this is like I think once again we were talking about like 2K design just gets better. Just every set better 2Ks.
Yeah, this was really neat as a 2K. At first I was like, what? Why is this a 2K? But actually when I played the deck, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually like a really, really powerful engine for your mid game. And so if you have to trash it early just to stay alive, it feels really, really bad, but it also feels impactful as a decision point. So I found like in one game, I had to just take a life that I really didn't want to take because I'm like, I really need this for the next turn.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have that many 2Ks in my deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sick.
Very insightful. Okay, and how do you refer to discard, Patrick?
Worm.
You
Worm dude.
At least call him by the planet.
Worm guy?
No,
it's Jupiter. No.
He's Worm dude. He's Worm guy.
Okay.
Worm guy.
Yeah.
All right.
He's my least favorite of them all.
Fair
Not
enough,
the card,
fair
but I just
enough.
mean in the
The character.
I was like, I wasn't like, wow, like cool worm guy, like you're really
Cool worm.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got like sword guy who's like it's horse sword. He's like, you know.
Yep. Okay. Saint Topman Warcury. I thought this name was so funny when it was revealed because we were all like, oh, which planet is each one going to be, right? Warcury, it's great.
Yeah.
Black character. 4 cost, 5k power, 5 Elder Stars, Celestial Dragons, 1k counter, trash is 7 or more, can't leave play by opponent's effects, and it gains blocker. So that's an important one. And on KO, draw 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. This is so good. Yeah.
Self-replacing.
Yeah.
Has blocker. It's it applies to all the effects. It's searchable. Like, yeah, it's self-replacing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think this is a big part of why like the 10 Dawn turn, the 10 Dawn turn for 3 Dawn is so impactful is because you get to play out this. There's another blocker, but you get to play out 2 blockers that cannot be removed or dealt with. They can be rested, but they can't be removed or dealt with in like those traditional ways. And then you can block with this and draw another card. And so that just feels really, really impactful considering you already drew off of Jupiter. So you already got a draw, right? And now you're getting another draw. And when you need to stall
Saturn.
games, it also feels really, really good because again, if on your going second curve, if you're on a more defensive line, you can play this. They swing, block, draw a card. Play another one. They swing, block, draw. Right? So it does everything you want it to do. It just feels. I think like so far the ones we've covered, I think these are all 4Fs for sure.
Yeah. Super random thing, and maybe it just kind of like it's like now I'm thinking like how often do you deck out on Emu, but probably like you're pretty in control of it. This one is a mandatory draw.
Yeah.
But the search is an optional search, right? It's a up to 5 look.
It should be optional.
Yeah.
So you
So
can choose
you
not
can't
to.
actually like someone can't just like forcibly deck you. Like people can't like create like weird situations for you to deck out because like at least the other one's optional. And also you don't have to bring it back. Period. Right? Yeah. You don't have to bring it back. Period.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is correct.
Not that like I think the decking out in this deck is going to be.
It could be though.
that.
It wasn't like it was less like when I was playing. I was getting really low. It wasn't really an issue, but it might have been if the game had gone on longer. And it was to the point that I was like, I wonder if you might have to squeeze in like a Mancherry or 2 because actually Mancherry would be really nice even in the early game. You have the Dawn to play it, and it brings back anything you want basically from this deck, and then it lets you also like set your draws up for later. So. I think one of the biggest weak points of this deck, similar to Lucci back in the day, is if you mill out your Elder cards, you lose. And so even like there's kind of like people were playing Cobra, and there's a new card which we'll cover that does the same thing. But when you mill cards blindly from your deck, it's actually a huge risk, and you can't really afford to do it with this deck. Which is why people at first were suggesting, oh, why don't you play a bunch of like the search top 3, and then that trash cards, and then just not take anything. You can't. You absolutely can't. If you lose your 10 cost, you lose your win con. So you have to be very, very careful about milling and searching. But a card like Mancherry would actually allow you to put those cards back, and you can get there, and you can draw, and you can see them again. And so I think there's just a lot of interesting things we might see beyond just like the standard way we're conceptualizing the deck right now with cards like Mancherry. I'm thinking of like Crosses, Infinite Rebecca.
Oh yeah,
Loops
the
and stuff
Infinite.
like that.
I was like, thank God, like he can't, because you can't play I Want to Live. Like that's out. But it makes this really interesting because even what you said about like that thought process was because I remember like our friend Kevin, who's a really high level Nami player, actually was talking to me about how like he taught me a really cool lesson. But like He's like, you can tell how good a Nami player is based on whether or not they blind mill off of their Usopp Rubber Band or their gavels, because blind milling and hitting the wrong card loses you the game almost exactly in that moment. So most Nami players, with the more skilled ones who actually will top 8 and do really well because it's not like an autopilot deck, will like look first or stack first before they actually play their Usopp Rubber Bands or their gavels, because if they blind mill Sanji's Pilaf, Kaya's important pieces for Nami, the game is done. So like to see that still a factor in this, I'm like, oh, that's like people don't realize actually how crazy of a high skill like thought process that is for like why blind mills are not like what you should do unless you're Lucci, in which case like go wild.
The number of games I've played versus Nami, like I don't love it as much now because I don't think the matchups are as fun, but back when Nami used to have so many fascinating matchups, I loved playing against Nami for that very reason, because I had so many games that I won because I just didn't swing because I wouldn't give them the spot. That was why I'm like, I'm not going to let you spot. And they're just like, can you please swing? And I'm like, no, I'm just going to not play anything. Or I'm going to play stuff, but I'm not going to swing because I don't want to let you spot it, because I don't want you to have that information, because I know you're a good Nami player. And it's like, it's really, really funny. And it looks wrong, but sometimes that is actually the win con against Nami if they have a slow start.
So many levels to that matchup.
Yeah, the principle here is just really like when you're milling cards in certain decks, you have to be really, really careful. And this is definitely one of those decks. You're not going to win without the 10 drop. You really aren't. And if you mill too many of them early, and remember you're 4 life, which is fine, but there's a decent chance you get 1 in life with a 4 life leader. It's not negligible, the chance that one of them goes into life, meaning you have 3 left. If you mill 1 right away, the other 2 could be at the bottom of your deck, and it starts to get really, really scary. So you have to actually really keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Thanks for bringing that up.
So you play 7 cost Teach, you KO itself with 7 cost Teach, then you go back and then use the 3 Dawn. No kidding. Use 3 Dawn.
Actually, I like, we can go on to the next one, but I think they might actually even print another card for the deck that does that. Like that brings you back the 10 cost because it's that impactful. Either returns cards to the deck, or has a way to actually recur cards from your trash. I don't know if it's going to come yet. I think we're going to see something similar to what they did with Teach, where they released the deck, it was like pretty good, and you're like, oh yeah, that's good. And then they released Kuza, and you're like, oh, okay. All right. I think they're going to do the same thing. I forget his name, but there's the Saint guy with the star head. I think he's coming next set or something like that, and he's going to be the new Kuzan. And I could see them doing, I could see them doing something along those lines where they kind of correct for that, because it is an element of randomness that I don't know if they want in the deck.
It's a great prediction.
You heard it here first.
Saint Marcus Mars, black character, 6 cost, 5k power, 5 Elder Stars, Celestial Dragons, 1k counter. If your trash is 7 or more, it cannot leave play by your opponent's effect and gains blocker, so this is your second blocker character here. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less.
Original cost!
Okay, let's get the amazing colors out of the way, because that was sick.
Yeah.
Bird person.
It's so cool. I believe it's the Itsumade. Yeah, and the fact that, so you play the 10 cost, you bring back all these bodies that do really awesome things on their own, and you get to KO a 5 or less? Like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
I mean, that effect is nuts. Like, I was like, you show me original cost, and I'm like, so you're telling me it kills Sanji Pudding, so I'm going to run it in my black deck. That's not Emu, but I'm going to run this anyway.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is really, really, really powerful. Now, the stipulation here is that you need to have 6 Dawn, which reduces its power slightly. Just slightly, though. But it does reduce its power slightly when you're going first, because now you have to wait till your 7 Dawn turn. But it's not a huge deal, but it just means like you're not really hitting like some of those weenie bodies sometimes that can be really, really annoying on curve all the time. As well as the fact that you do have to trash a card from hand. And you might say like, well, yeah, but you're getting so many cards. That's true. But if you were under a lot of pressure early from a deck like Green Zoro or from a deck like Rayleigh, that's actually a really, really big cost. And so it can be actually really hard to even know what to trash from hand, because you have limited cards and you have limited 2Ks and you have limited defensive options, but you still need to kind of put things on the board. And when you trash for leader effect, you're probably not going to be trashing characters in these matchups because you're going to need your characters. You have to trash from hand and you don't know what you draw. And so it starts to get a little bit scary when you actually have to trash 2 cards if you want to use your leader effect and this in a turn, and you're only going to, and you don't know what you're actually going to get out of that. So it's kind of cool. I think it's actually like balanced in that way. The fact that it's a blocker though is like mind-boggling to me. Like,
yeah, I'm really seeing this theme of kind of like, I don't know, like Bandai kind of recognizing that like some of the 5 drops on curve feel a bit just a bit overtuned.
Yeah.
Like, well, Sanji Pudding being the most like egregious offender, but like also Toshigi and like, because we actually see like later on we'll see another card that also is targeting 5 costs specifically. Not that like this targets anything 5 or less, but they're realizing that like if you're going second or on that 6-dawn turn and you don't answer the 5 drop, you might just lose because of that. Like if you try to do something that's not addressing the 5 drop that was played the turn before, you may actually lose out because of all the tempo that leaving that 5 drop unaddressed goes to, that they're kind of like making these 5 drop answers.
Yeah, and I think like for a deck like this, you actually will have to, going second, address the 5 drop or you will lose because you're a 4-life leader, 4-life mono color leader. And so I think it also makes for like very interesting getting the pieces together early decisions for the deck.
Yeah.
Like, so when you're thinking of what hand to keep, you're probably looking for this in a lot of matchups. It's going to make dice roll really important, which I'm not sure how much I like, but it definitely, like, your going second curve feels a lot more smooth than your going first curve, because you get to just play this and deal with their 5 drop right away. And it just curves nicely from like a 4 from your searcher into this. So I think it's something the deck will probably need to stay alive, because as it stands, I don't even think the deck can survive against Green Zoro, even with all these blockers. So it's definitely going to need ways to KO. And then I think too, it's just really nice to see KOing original cost. We're kind of getting away from the days of like doing reduction and KOing everything that's ever existed.
Have you been finding, just like, because like I know you said like, you know, you play on your 6-dawn turn, but then obviously if you use other stage, you can play this on your 5-dawn turn. Like, have you been finding there's like a really clear line of when you choose one stage versus the other on your open based on what you're playing against?
I haven't tested with 2 stages.
Yet. Okay.
So that will be something to definitely do.
Yeah, because then you can play this on 5. But if you're like, I'm not sure if it just makes me wonder, like, how much can your deck really just morph itself based on that decision alone, based on the matchup? Like, it feels, if you can really kind of like become very versed in, like, if the deck is so different with the 2 stages, like if the paths are so different, can you become such a flexible player where you're like, I know it in this matchup, in this situation, on this dice roll, I should choose this stage? Or do you get to choose a stage before dice roll? Oh, but someone should probably figure that out. Yeah, but I'm assuming you would choose the stage after dice roll.
I think it's after,
Yeah.
Yes.
So you could be like, oh, I'm going first against this. Actually, this stage is slightly better for this reason.
Yes. Yeah, I think it is after dice roll, right? It's like,
because the game doesn't start until after the die is rolled.
Because the turn order would be decided before the game starts.
Yeah, but it's worth checking just because I do know this happens right in the middle at kind of like an interesting point of the start of the game. And all of these things I didn't even know really existed until I read the
imagine
rules.
Like, a matchup, like you're so versed in this deck, because like a lot of backdecks I feel like are really high skill, like very knowledge based, that if you just know this matchup and you also know, wait, but if I'm on this dice roll, it's actually like 5% better for me to use the other stage because I get to bring this out 1 turn early, and actually that's what matters.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's such a cool, like, I don't know, this leader has so many cool flexibility points.
Yeah, like we were saying before, like I do think that might be why the deck is built this way, is like because you can actually adjust your curve with the stage. So you may need to do that in certain matchups. I think that's very interesting flexibility, and the deck's going to need it to survive, because you're not going to live very long against the amount of pressure that can be put on 4-life leaders without like a strong defensive backbone, which this deck doesn't really have if it can't play on curve. So
like you play against an aggro deck, you switch to the other stage, you go first, and then you you play out all your 3/5s.
Exactly, and then you try and see these, and you cheat this out for 3, and trash cards you don't need, and bricks and stuff like that.
Saint Ethanbaron v Nusjuro.
Say that 5 times fast. Don't actually. That was not a challenge.
The last watch party I had, when we got to this scene where it like introduced everyone, they were like, "Wait, where's the planet? Where's the planet name on this one?" Had to call out the Venus. Black character, 6 cost 5k, 5 Elder Stars, Celestial Dragons, 1k counter. If your trash is 7 or more, it cannot leave play by your opponent's effects. This one gains a rush. There's a unique one there. On attack or when attacking, if your trash is 10 or more cards, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power for this turn.
Ooh.
It's fun. Feels like one of those classic Brook moves, the minus 2k when attacking.
Yeah, this one's I think the least impactful of the bunch, but I think it's like the most conditional. So it feels like the Yonji of the bunch to me, where like I could see this even being maybe removed or reduced in the deck depending on what kind of matchups you need to see. Because this is really good at like trading into board because of the minus 2,000 power. Of course, having a rusher is nice because it means you can like finish the game off of the 10-drop play, because you can play you can use 3 Dawn to play out the 10-drop, play out this guy with rush. He's actually a 7,000 power character because he gets buffed by the other guy, and then you can throw like 6 Dawn on him and go wild. And so, I mean, that is kind of nice, but it does seem a little bit more, this feels a little bit more situational.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, this doesn't feel like a deck where you would always want to be swinging at your opponent's board. But I think it's going to really depend, again, on, like, the matchups and things like that. I mean, you want to keep the board clear, of course, but it's like, I just, to me, it feels like sometimes it's coming a little bit too late. And you also have to have the 10 cards in trash, which is pretty easy to meet, but it doesn't feel like I'm using this in the mid game too much. It always felt like it was kind of coming out later on that 10 Dawn play, because there was just better options to play on my 6 Dawn turn for 5 Dawn.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is like what I noticed is like kind of like the Ethnic we saw from last week, where it's the first instance of power reduction in yellow. This is the first instance of power reduction in black, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I feel like they're just keeping it a little milder, because they're like, well, this is the first time giving power reduction to other colors. These 2 colors, let's keep it chill, because they must have tried a version of this where like, this is too good. Like this feels like it was either gonna be too good or this state, so we'd rather it be this.
Yeah, and I will say, like when I was playing against UP, it's like, making the Cadet blocker 2,000 before I now do all my swings for the turn. Like it definitely still can do like really, really crazy things. But I was just trying to think, like, are you going to always run 20 Elders? And I don't know if you are. Like I think you could go a little lighter, maybe on the blocker, draw 1 depending on the meta. Definitely not in this meta.
Yeah.
And here's another point you could trim. Now I don't know if that'll be necessary, because they do seem to be printing enough within archetype support that you might not need to dip into other archetypes. But when I was initially just kind of theory crafting the deck, I was trying to think, okay, how can we get the number of required, like what's the minimum number of required cards? Like, can we get this from, it was because it was about like 38-ish, and now it's up to like 42, like within archetype cards that are probably need to be included in the deck. So is there a way of like, I was trying to think like, how far back can I push this? Can I get this down to like 32? And then now I've got room to like add a whole other kind of engine. Now I could play, I don't know, something like a Rebecca, or like, I was just trying to think of different ways of building the deck.
I feel like that's like key competitive play in One Piece too, because we've seen it happen. Like we've seen it happen with Reiju, where like we've seen complete omissions of certain types, or at least only like one-ups, like Yonji not being there. I think BY being the most obvious example, where like the BY list that we ended up innovating later on, which had no aces in it at all. Like I think when you remove those dependencies, because you're like, you know what, I can remove this dependency and completely add this new engine, to your point, is one of like the really interesting, I think, competitive, like it's a sign of competitiveness, that like an competitive innovation, I guess, if that makes sense, where it's like, okay, I know you meant for this, but we found this other thing that works like better here. So like I agree, because like this isn't the blocker, this isn't the thing that's like saving you or like creating those really obnoxious board states. It's helping you kind of clear, but I feel like maybe that may not be the most important thing for this deck.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's the same way that like Judge is kind of overkill in Reiju. Like it's like if you get to the Judge and you play it, it's like you've kind of stabilized already. Like you're already kind of in a good spot. And of course it adds like that win con to these decks, but it certainly feels like I don't always need 5 of the Elders on that turn. And especially if I'm going to be chaining it, it's like when I've gotten to that point, I've kind of already won. And the idea of the deck might be throwing in enough tech cards to survive different matchups to get to that point. So I'll be curious to see like where the final lists land, but this is one card that I would at least trim. I can run 3 of this. I don't know if you have to run 4.
Yeah. You run 4, I have my crew, so that way like Zoro can't rest your blockers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
This feels like one of those you bring it out and then you swing with it and then you trash it to draw.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Saint Charlos. Always love seeing this guy, eh? Black character, 2 cost, 0 power, ranged. That's interesting, because he just uses a gun, I guess. Celestial Dragons, 1k counter. This is a blocker and on play trash 1 card from the top of your deck. Wow, this sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just a better version of Cobra for the deck.
I feel like there's such a great alt art they can make for this guy.
Literally.
Yeah.
So like when I was testing Emu, of course, like everyone else, what did I put in the 2 Dawn slot? I put in the Cobra. And then I was like, when I was playing, I was like, they're just gonna print like a celestial dragon
Yep.
that does this, and then this morning,
Yeah,
I woke up
yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
okay, they did it.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Here
do
it
like
is.
this added difference here where it's the exact same card, but Charlos has 0 power. Cobra at least has 1k.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cobra confirmed stronger.
Sick Cobra. Yeah, not much more to say here. This is awesome for the deck, obviously. A
Yeah.
cheap blocker, and you fill up your trash. It is a blind trash, so watch out for killing the 10 cost, like you mentioned, Patrick. But you got to take risks when you play card games.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, a more underwhelming event here. The world's equilibrium cannot be maintained forever. 1 cost. 5 Elder Stars, Celestial Dragons typing. On main, you may rest 5 of your Dawn. If your board only has characters with the Celestial Dragon type, not Cobra, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 6 or lower. Or as a counter, give your leader plus 3k power for this battle.
So a KO Sanji pudding. every
That's
time.
all. That's all.
KO Sanji pudding.
This is the immediate translation.
And also a KO is actually the Rush Luffy, which is a win con against Emo's and GP as well.
Ooh.
Like if I can't rely on leaving it there. I have to get my double swings in and get out. Where sometimes I can just play it and then play another one next turn and go. So yeah,
Damn.
pretty cool. Yeah. I think so. Like some of the lists I've seen, people are running this like maybe at 2. I think that's fair. I think we'll just have to see like how much removal you need, like how badly you have to stay alive. It's a
Meta
hefty
flexibility
cost.
card? Yeah.
It's a flexible card.
Yeah.
Yep.
The plus 3,000 is really, really good. You're going to need that as well. So it seems just like to do everything you want. But yeah, the cost is really steep. I think you'd rather play out Bird Guy and trash a card to hit most of the things that you want to hit in the game and get a blocker on the board. But I think there's going to be games where you don't draw into the Bird Guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you gotta play this instead. And so this is just giving you kind of more flexible mid-game options to make sure you can KO the Sanji
Yeah.
pudding.
This is basically the 5th and 6th copy of Bird Guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We're gonna skip like 4 months from now. You're still gonna be calling him Bird Guy,
Yeah.
Hey, Bird Guy's Bird Guy.
Spider Guy, Spider Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Spider
mean,
Dude.
I think like like saying their names is. I know you have to shorten it. I'm not going to say their full titles, just as
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, okay, I'll play the world's equilibrium cannot be maintained. Like we gotta shorten these.
I'm gonna play Saint, and then I'll bring out Saint, and then I will trash Saint.
Saint. Yeah.
Yeah. And like it'll be so fun to see what ends up sticking, like Piss Kid. It's just like one of the it's like who knows what'll stick? Who knows what Twitter will
I
decide?
think
Never know.
Okay, my money on this one, anyways, is that it will be equilibrium. I think that's what I would call this.
World's equilibrium.
Like I would just say like play equilibrium. I think that's the only word there that
I'm gonna call it forever. What about you guys?
I play forever.
Yeah. So okay. So with 10 Dawn, you can spend 6 to KO a secret Luffy, and 3 to play out 10 cost, and 1 to bring out everything, which is pretty good. Pretty good for a 10 Dawn turn.
Really good, yeah. Yeah. Deal with a big scary threat, and you can still do everything you want to do.
Super nice. Okay. Those are all the black cards. So that was the introduction to Emu. Our first introduction.
Emu's world, we
So
live in
far.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. Literally. I'm so excited to play. I don't know about you guys. I mean, Patrick,
I mean,
you already
I got
have a
it here
deck.
in
He's
front
got
of me, like, come on.
Yeah.
We need to. I've been meaning to try to try the new Bonnie, so I'll build a proxy list for that.
I think it says something too, because like everyone's like proxying this, everyone's playing it. I've never actually proxied really a deck early before. I guess we did a little bit for GP, so Maya could practice, and now we've got Sanji. But it's not something that we actually ever do. Like I like to wait until the cards are released and play them on release. I don't even practice early on Sim. But I was just like so excited, I couldn't wait to try this out. And so I think there's something to be said about this set in general, that all the leaders are so exciting. Like this is really an exciting, fun set, and I think like it power creeps the game. But I think maybe what Bandai had in mind is like they just want to print leaders that makes people go wow. Like this is really, and it kind of does that. And I'm definitely feeling like really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the Ace. I don't care how bad it is. I'm excited for the Ace.
Yeah, they all look so good. That's the thing. They
Yeah.
all look really, really good.
OP13 is a long hype train. We're just riding it as long as we can.
Basically.
OP13 waiting room.
Speaking of Ace, onto the red cards. Ace won't forgive you. I think this one was revealed just before Emu, but we're catching up. Red event, 1 cost Dressrosa and Rev Army. On main, you may rest 4 of your Dawn cards. Choose up to one opponent character during this turn, it has minus 3k power, then KO up to one opponent's character with power 3k or less. Counter, up to one of your leader gains 3k during this battle.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a 5-Don play on main.
Yeah, it's basically a separated pistol. Like it's a jet pistol in 2 parts that you can assign the parts separately, and it has an upside if you choose to use it as counter events, like for like your leader and whatnot. I love cards designed like this because like they made it 5 cost, so they made it so they cost more than jet pistol. So like there's an argument for why you did it, but then the real value is in the flexibility, right? Because you can either target 2 different things, or you can target the same thing, or you can use it as a counter event. Like the fact that it's pure optionality is like I think what makes red, like what historically has made red a really interesting color, because red is so flexible in how it uses its Dawn and its effects. So I think I really like this card. Like from a design perspective, and it's super searchable. So I love that they're kind of like more willing to give red kind of pieces in its identity more so, because I think for a while they were really worried about making red too strong.
Yeah.
This feels like exactly red's identity. I love this card. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it. I agree.
Initially reading it, I felt like it was underwhelming for 5-Don because I was looking at Honesty Impact and I was like, wow, this is targeting so much more with -4 and KOing a 6. But yes, it has the flexibility, but other cards like this and Jet Pistol have the trigger as well, right? So it's hard to find that balance, I think.
Yeah, I think probably the key differentiator will be like the flexibility of this card in terms of searching will probably be one of the differentiators, and the other will be it may not be a 4 of, it might not be. It may be ran as a 5th or 6th copy of a replacement of another card, to your point, like Honesty Impact. Like it might be like a certain matchups I need to see like this kind of effect. This is my 5th and 6th copy of that, but also it can be something else.
Yeah.
So I think this will be like a deck builder's dream. Like this card is like for a deck builder, it's like, oh, do I want like 2 of these just to fill in this kind of like search ratio while also doing this? Like, whew.
Yeah, good call. Searchability is huge.
Yeah.
Uta, green character, 4 cost, 5k power, special. Film typing, 1k counter. On play, set up to 2 of your Dawn cards as active. Amazing. Then you may not play character cards with an original cost of 5 or greater for the rest of this turn. On KO, play up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less from your hand as rested.
All right, so green Uta is just like this is green Uta support. This actually
Directly,
is green.
yes.
This is actually green support.
Yeah. Unless we have like a special Green Uta starter remake type card leader coming up, but yeah, this is incredible.
How many green Utas do you have to make before green Uta is valuable? And the answer is like it's 5.
Infinite green Utas.
You can never have enough. Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, in my mind, I'm just like, oh yeah, how can I make this work in GP? I play this on 4 Dawn UK. What I play on Sanji Pudding? Next turn I play another Sanji Pudding. And guess what? I have less Dawn, right? So I draw my playouts. Anyways.
You have like 2 brain cells. One is dedicated to GP. The other is like trying to figure out Emu on the side.
Yeah. No, the other one's
side
playing
piece.
Enel. And then they work in tandem to play Emu. And stuff.
Like also this they obviously weren't too scared about Red Zoro, where Red Zoro had the effect where it had to be a red card you played. This one has like no color restriction, which
no, because they're like,
really
we
good.
dare you to play this outside of mono green Uta. But yeah, that is important.
Yeah, what 5-drop can come out that just makes you like suffer?
Well, the next one looks like a pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's a 6 cost.
So. Yeah, someone so like green purple, someone hits this, you bring out Magellan on your opponent's turn minus a Dawn, and now they can't play the on curve thing. They're like, what? And some stupid thing
That's
like
some
that.
high level play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not on my bingo card yet. Monkey.D.Luffy, a green character. This is one of the 3 secret rares.
Yeah, 3 secret rares.
Of the
What?
set.
What?
Yeah.
What is happening?
3 bros.
Yeah, 3 bros. 3 bros. 3 secrets. That's how it be. 6 cost, 7k power, strike attribute, Fishman Island typing, Supernovas typing, Straw Hat Crew typing, wow, double attack. On play, if your leader is multicolored, set up to 4 of your Dawn is active, then you may not play character cards with an original cost of 5 or greater for the rest of this turn. This is doing a lot of work.
Okay, so there's no way GP's not getting hit by some kind of ban or restrict, right? Like there's like this is good, right? This is like, if I don't play GP at all, is this good?
This is good, right?
Is this good? I just, every time I read a green card, I'm just like, I'm looking at Patrick like, tell me.
Yes. I think people have been talking about this in Blue Zoro Sanji leader. That's what I've heard. That's what this is really meant for.
Whoa.
To do double attack.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, this is obviously just really strong because you set 4 Dawn active on your going second curve. So you get to play a 4-drop, and then on your 6th Dawn turn, you get to play this and then play another 4-drop.
Like Zorojuro?
Like Zorojuro. I actually don't think it's that good in GP, just because you already have godly things to play on your turns. But I think actually there might be room for it. I think, as always, we've talked about this before, but I'm always like cautious of double attack. If you watch the video where I'm playing Zoro into Kobe, like I just don't like attacking my opponent's life. Like I don't like giving people cards. Every time they take a life and they get a card, I feel bad inside. And so giving people 2 cards to me in a single turn just doesn't actually feel that good. But that's how I like to play One Piece. I think when you're pushing the pace of the game and accelerating and trying to end the game early, obviously getting 2 life in one swing is really, really good.
Yeah,
so,
true.
It'll be kind of interesting. But
what do you think about playing this, getting 4 Dawn back, doing something else, and then next turn playing your Secret Rush Luffy, and then threatening like 4 life?
Oh.
That does feel pretty good. Because
this is a value play.
Like, maybe sorry, GP. Yeah.
Like this is effectively like 2 cost 7k double attack.
Yeah.
Like in a sense, right? So I don't know.
Because I feel like GP's toolbox now is just too wide. The toolbox is enormous.
It does feel that way.
Like the toolbox is all the green straw hats, all the purple straw hats, and just all the event. Like that toolbox is way too big.
It is, and it may indicate like some sort of GP hit. It could also indicate like a giant if giant gets hit. And GP just becomes this really more aggressive deck that's on more of a timer, because right now GP just sustains forever and ever.
Right.
So that you could, like, these cards could help push it in that direction, where now you're really pushing the pace of the game.
Yeah.
You're really trying to accelerate. But I think too, like, it's just really good to keep in mind that, like, as GP, your win con really is getting down to Sanji puddings, and so this kind of interferes with that a little bit. This is a little too slow. You may not play a character with a cost of 5 or less, so you can never play this in a Sanji pudding.
That's true.
And as a GP player, my problem usually isn't killing my opponent or like putting pressure on their life. The problem is either my Sanji puddings die, or they get removed, or I die. And so I've like as a GP card, options, yes. In terms of my going second turn as GP, I'm typically going to be trying to get down double Sanji pudding into Rush Luffy, into winning the game.
I like how you phrase that. My problem is not figuring out how to win; it's trying not to lose.
Yeah, the win con is usually pretty clear as a GP, which is part of the fun part of the deck. It's like, how do I get there?
True. Yeah, a strong secret.
Also, we should just say, like, like, this is my bias. Apologies, folks at home, but like, this is obviously for the new red-green Luffy leader, who we never talk about, because every card that gets released for him, I'm like, how can I use this in GP Luffy? But this does seem really, really good with the new Luffy leader, who is a very defensive leader, who seems to be able to play like a really long game, and this lets you like kind of put down pressure. It lets you get Dom back for leader effect. It lets you play, like, I'm sure, isn't there another 4-cost card that also sets Dawn as active?
Well, the one we just read.
Well, yeah, that one. But isn't there another one for the Luffy too? Like,
like the Zoro and the Sanji.
There's so many right now. So it's like this can also play out something else that can get you back Dawn. That can do like so. The red-green Luffy also is like a sleeper. Like, well, maybe not a sleeper. A sleeper in my mind, because my mind just has GP on this side. But
it'll be interesting.
This will be really This is going to be really good support.
So much cool stuff coming
up.
Yeah,
and then I think someone's gonna make us like say it, but yeah, this is Vanderdeckable, right, or something like that. Someone was like mentioning that is like, is Vanderdecken capable of?
He's Fishman.
Yeah. No. Because Vanderdecken says it must be Fishman type,
yes,
not Fishman Island. Because I was like, someone's bringing that up, and I was like, I don't think that's how
Why are people thinking about this?
Because some people are so like.
I love it.
So they're trying to play this deck. They're just like so deep in the hole right now in terms of trying to figure out how to make it work.
No.
It's Shirahoshi searchable off like 1-cost Shirahoshi search.
Yes.
But I don't know. This doesn't seem like it's a. Wait, no. Is this Shirahoshi support?
It could be. Yeah. You restand down. You can play out more cards.
Okay.
It's searchable.
You guys continue as you are. I'm like,
okay.
I'm gonna look up whether this actually matters for Shirahoshi at all, and I think the answer should B no.
All right.
Great.
We still have so many cards to go through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yamato, blue character. This is an SR for very good reason. We talked about this before. 5 cost, 6k power, land of Wano, 1k counter. On play, if your life is 3 or less, draw 2 cards, then give up to 1 rested Dawn to your leader. So we talked about the 6 cost, 6k Izo that draws 2 cards, and that's a rare. And you mentioned if it was just a 5 cost, you know, that would be a huge difference. So much more value, and boom, SR right here.
Yep.
And Ace starts off at 3 life, so if you're
Love
going
this
first,
energy.
you can just like slam this on 5, draw 2, swing 7, and your leader ability active. So like the odd curve on that deck is just single-handedly made amazing by this. And it's a 6k power body that you're putting down. It's not a brick, because most times when they create cards like this, they make it a brick so that at least you're punished for playing aggressively because you can't defend. Not a brick.
Yeah.
Just 5-6, like 5-6, swing 7, draw 2, like.
It's a very strong super rare.
Yeah, it's like you just know that Nami's rotating out when blue starts finally getting cards that lets them do blue things again. This is great. I like the idea. Like, okay, what I do like is that they skirt the edges of color identity, but they are kind of doing that in the set. Like, it's like green, you restand Dawn, blue, you draw cards. Like, it's good. I like it.
And like they're giving that a little bit of red flavor to it because they're like, we know this is like support for, but like, oh, it's so much stuff going on in this.
Thought you were talking about the visuals for a second.
Oh yeah, I love Yamato alt arts. So
Who doesn't? Portgas D Ace. This is the 3rd secret rare, because the first one we covered was the Sabo. Now Luffy and Ace, 6 cost, 7k power, Whitebeard Pirates typing, no counter. If you have 3 or less life, this character gains Rush. On play, give up to 1 rested Dawn to your leader. Afterwards, return up to one of your opponent's character with the cost of 5 or less to the owner's hand. If you do, your opponent may play up to 1 character with the cost of 4 or less from their hand. Wow, that is fascinating. I don't think this has ever happened before.
So this is what I mean by, like, I think they're trying to insulate against 5 drops being too good, because sometimes they're worried about if you are going second and you don't address that 5 drop, the game is just over from there, and that can feel pretty bad. This is a way to give a removal option for a deck that has low health against 5 drops, like 5 drop Smoker that have Banish. So you at least can create a weird situation where it's like, okay, I can use this, I can bring it back to hand, but it only hits 5 drops basically. But they didn't want to make it like completely. It didn't want to make it say only hits 5 drops. This is like such an interesting. The wording on this is just so interesting to be able to like, oh, we can play the 4 drop back out. Is that meaningful in any way? Like, but it kind of feels like the core was just they wanted to make it hit 5 drops, but not be too broken.
It's such an interesting card. Like when I read it, I actually like read it again and again. So I was like, wait, what? Mainly because it's like, I always compare this to like something like Jozu, which is like our kind of really good blue standard 6 drop that lets you bounce one of your own things to bounce something else that's a 6 or less. I believe, right? Jozu's 6 or less? Like it's
6 or less.
Yeah. But I think what's kind of interesting here is that one, this has rush, so it's kind of like immediately putting down a 7k swing, which is a huge amount of pressure early in the game. So it's kind of this way to like push the game state, and then you're also removing something that's probably pivotal to your opponent's strategy and forcing them to play out something else. At the same time, like when I was thinking about this, I'm like, oh yeah, it's like I'm facing Green Zora, and they're like, I bounced their Tashigi to hand. They're like, thanks, let me play Tashigi again. Do exactly what I want. But no, this feels like a tempo card. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
it gives you really good tempo in the game. You pressure, you bounce.
Yeah. Wow.
And if they don't have another 4 drop, it's like a searcher, like
if they don't have something to play,
man.
yeah. Which a lot of, like, to be fair, like everyone's running 5 drops now. Like 4 drops are not in fashion.
They're not in fashion.
Yeah, and with Nusjuro getting banned, no kidding.
He's like the last remaining good 4 drop.
If I bowed down to power, what's the point in living? Blue event. Rare. 1 cost Whitebeard Pirates. On main, you may rest one of your Dawn cards. If you have 1 or less life cards, your opponent cannot activate a card with blocker when your leader attacks this turn, and counter up to one of your leader gains 3k during this battle. So Ace has unblockable.
This is gonna make a lot of painful situations for people. It's only 2 Dawn as well, so it's Femur. It's like Femur without the buff. It's high flexibility. It is searchable because Whitebeard is probably one of the most searchable typings in red and blue. This will make Ace so hard to play around from the like you have to respect this. Like you have to assume this card is in their hand even if they only run 2 of them at all times. Like you can just assume this is in the deck and it's in their hand.
Yep.
Like,
and it's not locked. Like Blue Dofi support. This is like this seems better than Femur.
Yeah. And like the
In some
one
ways,
life,
yeah.
the one life is not. If you're playing mono blue, I think it's harder to pick up life.
true,
But even
true.
then, it's like because I think there's no blue card that picks up life. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there is a. I looked this up a long time ago. I think the only one that picks up life is not even your own life. It's the law that makes your opponent pick up life.
The promo
But
law?
if you're in red, there are I think a few ways. There's Squard. There's there's,
Sanji,
like, that's
of
already
course.
one.
Yeah,
Sanji, and
yeah.
there's a few other ones. So I think as a red-blue card, this is really good.
Yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
especially an ace because you're already at 3 life leader. You're gonna be at 1 life in the second. So
Yeah.
like I mean, it makes it awkward for your opponent to do the thing they want to do, which is kill you early and take advantage of the fact that you're a 3 life leader. So
Yeah.
you're gonna turn this on.
Even if they like don't swing at you at 2, like that's already back because we're like, oh, they can just they could be so close to activating this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like 6K leader is going to put so much pressure. Like they're going to bring you down to 0, like so reliably. Probably, we'll see. But I'm excited
I mean,
for Ace.
and the thing is too is like whenever like as a 6K leader, like plus 3,000 is really good.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's like it's like an added bonus, right? That it's gonna get you up to 9. It's gonna stop like 8K swing. So it's just like that added, like you just get a little bit more value when you're a 6K leader out of all these events. Your opponent has to think, I have to swing just a little bit more, and so. And what's crazy about this is like that this is in blue. Like this is the red thing. This is what the red cards do. And like the fact that it's like just like a punch in the face to red. Like it's just like, you know what, we're gonna give blue the unblockable and we're gonna make it so that it's not a brick for you too. Like because traditionally it's like been a brick, right? Like Diop Jombe and all these cards that you had to run to get through blockers, the original like Rush Luffy, it's like all these bricky things for like the one condition. Here's like here it is for you, blue.
Yeah.
It's counter too.
And yeah, like I said, like there's so many ways to pick up life. Like I forgot because no one plays this, but there's a 2K Thatch, not Teach, Thatch, from like the starter deck that didn't really get, I guess, played too much because it's the 1 cost, 2K counter, and 2K power, and lets you get it lets you Otama something, and then you pick up a life. But like suddenly this is like kind of like, oh, do I run like 2 of them as an activator to get me down to 1 when I'm like in trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
The combos, man.
That's a good
Yeah,
2K
I'm going
option.
to play this for 1, Flame Emperor 10K, then swing double attack
Yeah.
unblockable.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm just insane like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something stupid like that's gonna happen.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, looking like a fun deck. Red and blue have a lot of flexibility in searching and draw, so like, and the pieces don't perfectly fit together yet, but like I feel like there's a lot of tooling in this deck to kind of create combos. Just whether or not there's a good combo and whether it's consistent is the only like real
Yeah.
test.
Yeah. I think like you said, like this opens up that crazy line that even Dofi used to have, where it's like if you see 2 of these, you have this line of just like swing with everything unblockable, swing with everything unblockable, and to your point, it's like swing everything unblockable, double attack, and then swing everything unblockable again.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it opens up these kind of lines that you have to be really, really careful of when you're going to be playing against. This
Whew, unblockable Flame Imp into like Roger the next turn.
Yeah.
so
Something
many
stupid
options.
like that.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
stupid like that is gonna win the game.
Yeah.
Ace is looking so fun.
Yeah. For sure.
Divine Departure. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
the Pirate King version. Purple event. A rare 0 cost. Pirate King typing and Roger Pirates typing. On main, you may rest 5 of your Dawn cards. If you have any given Dawn, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 8,000 power this turn. As a counter, trash 1 card from your hand up to one of your leader or characters gains 3k during this battle.
Stop giving purple cracked events.
It's incredibly flexible.
Oh.
Okay, so like this just goes into my GP deck because I have 2 of the 0 cost event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? This just goes in. Guess what? Like green decks that used to play Kid, I mean, they're going to rotate up. It's over for you. Like I don't even have to run Gamma Knife Brick
Yep.
in my deck anymore. The 0 cost event that I really love, that can just be replaced by this.
Okay, well, to be fair, you do need, what, 7 Dawn? No, 6
5.
Dawn. So 1 given Dawn and then 5, yeah.
Oh,
That's fine.
Yeah.
I can handle that because I already have to run this. I already run this Zero Cost event. The reason I run it is to get rid of bricks in my hand.
Yeah, and
it's not
I mean,
to give minus 8,000.
You probably don't even care about the trigger ramping one anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. Yeah. That
Well,
high
it's
rolling
fine because this
nonsense.
card will get nerfed by when 8 cost kit gets banned. So like it won't matter because it won't have a target. So this card will be worse than
Except like the two like biggest blockers in the game
Yeah,
are 8,000 power in Purple Kata and the new Mihawk. Like 8,000 is the number of the big boys that come out and block.
Yeah,
So,
it's just like, how dare you have a sideways character? How
Yeah.
dare you?
Yeah.
You're not allowed.
yeah, and this is so good. And of
Yeah.
course, it's like really nice in GP or like, because of Green's ability to restand on, making this cost way less. But it's also like just really, really good in Purple because a lot of Purple decks run the Zero Cost event. It's just like another avenue.
Yeah.
And beautiful card. Beautiful.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
oh yeah, like Odin finally getting a taste of what the real world is like here.
Yeah.
Getting wrecked by the future pirate king.
I love the scene because if he comes running back,
Yeah.
I just love that scene. He's like running the kilometer back.
Yeah.
What the heck was that? Let's do it again.
That whole like montage or that whole flashback is one of my favorite things. I loved it so much. The whole time I was just so happy.
Stussy, yellow character. This is an SR, 7 cost, 7k power, no counter, egghead and CP0 typing. This is a blocker, and on play, if your leader has egghead type, play up to 1 character with the cost of 5 or less with a trigger from your hand.
Yep. This card is correct. Yeah. Bonnie has. Remember we talked about what does Bonnie need to be good? It needs odd curve plays that are just cracked. We talked about the 1 it has, the 3 it has, the 5 it has. It has a 9. This is the 7. It literally has a perfect odd curve that is mostly searchable. This is egghead typing, so it is searchable with Lilith. So it's searchable off your 3-drop. So if you play your 3-drop Lilith, you search, you can find this or the 5-drop to fill out the curve. So it's perfect. You can cheat out the 5-drop, activate leader ability, swing 7. You now have a 7k blocker, and also the 5-drop you play, which could be a 6 or 7k, and you swung 7 that turn, and the 5-drop, or the 3 cost 5k from the previous turn you swinging, and the previous turn's 5/6 you're swinging to. This deck has every aggro piece in it already, and 8 searchers on launch. On the day it opens, you will have 8 searchers to begin with. And we saw how gross that Film Luffy could be, 7 or something. This is Film Luffy on steroids, on a really strong leader too, so it's oh man, and Peach Momoko on the art, so it's oh, so good. So,
Yeah.
Holy crap, Bonnie is just the best curve out yellow, aggro deck, just on launch.
Yeah,
Easy.
I had such a funny moment where there's all the emu reveals, and I was I missed this, and because especially during the video, because as soon as emu came up, I paused it and went to figure out what the text said. So I wasn't even paying attention to anything that was happening, and so I didn't process any of these cards until after, and then I was looking at this and I'm wait, is Bonnie just better than emu? This card seems really, really good, and I'm excited about that. And I think it's nice to have kind of Bonnie. It's going to be, I think, a leader that kind of balances these other leaders. It's going to be relatively simple, and it's just really, really strong.
Yeah. If you guys don't have 4 copies of Flomp, I 100% think this the only weakness of this leader is that your hand size will deplete really quickly when you play a deck like this. That having cards that will let you replenish your hand size through effects like picking up life is probably important, because if you're playing this deck this way, no one's swinging at you, they're only swinging at your board, that you actually want to pick up all of your life cards. And then just force the game to terminate before they can even attempt to swing at you. I think you would run 4 Flomps, because also if you go second, you can just jam the Flomp in that extra Dawn. So I think with Flomp not seeing a reprint yet, if you want to play Bonnie, you probably will have to run Flomp, because I'm already in my head thinking this list, I'm yeah, there's almost no turn where I wouldn't want to just be you know what, I'm so healthy, Flomp. And just keep playing out these.
And the idea is because you have those extra cards now, you can keep playing things, and you can also defend your board.
Yeah.
So if people try and swing at it, it's yeah, I already took a life. That got me a 2k. Now I can 2k out.
Yeah.
So I don't need my life. I need my board to kill you before you
exactly
play 5 bodies.
Because you're trying to win by Dawn 9 basically, or just 1 turn off after Dawn 9. That your life total doesn't need to be very high to just not die on Dawn 9.
Mine to a Kata. This actually feels very there's so many similarities to Kata, the going first curve on Kata being so strong because of the 7 every turn, and then just establishing something meaningful. So yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And beautiful card.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This will just be the deck that torments me at regional, and I'm just seeing it every other game, and I'm
It could be that, yeah.
Honestly, so true.
Yeah.
Okay, I think those are all the cards for now.
Great.
This, oh my gosh, look at that.
And now we're just gonna
let's
admire
just collectively, we'll just collectively
Everyone
admire
just
all
like.
these. Okay, I don't actually like these that much, but I want to see them in person. I don't know, like they seem they're like, I don't know, some people like love them, which is great. To me, I was just kind of like, eh.
It really depends on what it looks like in real life. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
this is
have
one
to
of
see
those
the
cards where
shadows.
like if that purple on Luffy, like the background is
Yeah,
completely like stippled star textured in the back, it could look like gorgeous, like
Yeah.
because it could be that solid purple is not actually solid purple.
Yeah,
I think that would
I
make
think
the
you're
big
totally
difference.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those other kind of SP-ish, or the SPs or whatever. That like I'm thinking of the Nusjuro.
Oh yeah.
That's like it looks when you look at a picture of it, you're like, and then you look at it when it's on stream, and it's like, whoa, okay, so it's probably like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to see it in 3D. It's got to move. But
This set has so many chase cards. Like, oh man.
Mhm.
Oh man. And these are all pretty playable too. Wait, no, is that Lil? That's a little searcher, right?
Yeah. That's a
Oh my god,
3
people
cost.
trying to max rate their binder decks on launch is just gonna be like,
She has an alt art, right?
yeah, she already has
all
all
of these
that.
have alt arts. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that Lilith though is like, oh, damn. People trying to get 4 of those.
Nice. Which one's your favorite? Just based off of 2D. The 2D perspective.
The ace because of color. I just think it's a really nice blue that they have on it. But
I abstain. I have to see them in person.
Okay. From here, I feel like either the Luffy or the Lilith. Maybe it's just the purple gold royalty feel. I don't know. Cool. SPs. And here are some wanted cards.
nice.
Oh, I want the
Ace
Rogers so
and Sabo Roger.
badly. I want the Rogers so badly.
So bad. Like a collection piece?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a classic.
Yeah.
It's like the classic Roger too, not like the modern design.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that Roger is the unblockable, or like the one that can't be blocked or you lose one.
Yes.
I'm assuming. Yeah, because it's actually blocked. So it's 3 secrets from this set, and then one of them from the previous one as the wanteds. Okay, that's cool. Wow, I don't even know what the like in one case. What do you get? Like what do you get? Like I'm so like.
A secret rare and 1 alt art.
Yeah. Best I can do.
Yeah.
Right.
Realist, yeah. I wouldn't expect too much, but
Cool.
if you like chasing, this is it. Look at that.
This is too much.
This is weird to me because this is the exact art of the manga, and they just threw it in here for
What is
funsies,
this,
I guess.
3rd anniversary special?
Huh.
Maybe it's the textures, I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see.
But it's the exact same art as the manga for Shanks, right? From OP9.
They just threw
Looks
everything
like
in
it.
this set. They were just like, you know what? Let's just put it all in.
And then they threw in like what the three mangas next.
Yeah. Like, they just went crazy. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah,
going on?
the red mangas or fire mangas, as people calling
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, it does feel like too much to me. Like there's too many things in this set. I think like it would be hard. I'm just thinking of people who really like collect these things. It's really hard to get your hands on like 6 different mangas. Like there are people who collect every card, and especially cards like mangas that have the panels in the background. And it's like these have different panels. So like if that's your thing, you actually have to get 6 manga cards if you want to like I don't know. It feels like a lot. And of course, I mean, most people are just happy to pull 1, but I'm just always thinking of like collectors and how like this seems like a lot to collect.
Are you concerned about them?
The collectors?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I think it's a big part of the game. It's just I hated in the EBO2 when they released all those alternate versions of leaders that are just kind of impossible to get your hands on if you're someone who collects every leader. I know a lot of people actually just stopped their leader collections there. There are people who had 1 of every leader. And they said, well, I can't get these.
Yeah.
So, like, I've just, like, what's the point, right? The whole idea of being, like, a obsessive collector is you get everything of the type of thing that you're collecting. And when you put it out of reach, it's kind of, like, it's a little bit hard. And they've already kind of been doing that by releasing, like, you know, the anniversary sets that come with a lot of mangas. But, like, 6? So...
It's, yep.
Plus all of these, like, these SPs, it's a lot.
The amount of money that you have to spend to upkeep your collection, like, it's rising exponentially.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, in some sense, it's a good thing because it's like it might just get too ridiculous. So you're getting people who are like less kind of hoardy of cards, and because it's just you can't keep up, and it makes like the kind of these cards more special for people. But
Yeah.
it does. I don't know. For me, I actually don't care because I don't collect any of these really high end cards. If I just pull it, I'm really happy. More cool stuff.
Yeah, it's the balance between what you just described and like the common person just ripping a pack and be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I just got this card that I will never get ever again.
Yeah. And like, it's funny because like, at the same time, like, as I said, I don't like the idea of like those leaders. But one of the cool things about like, the flip side of it with those leaders and even with the Gold Dawn from PRB is that you just, like we've said this before, you don't see them that often. So some of the times when I actually see like people running like the alternate EBO2 lead, I'm like, wow, that's cool. I've never actually seen that in person. Or wow, that's cool. Like I've never actually seen like this Dawn in person. And so I think when there's lots and lots of chase cards that are really, really expensive, you might see that as well, where it's like, wow, I've never actually seen the red Luffy before because there's just so much out there.
I've never seen
The red Luffy. Yeah, I like earlier I was like, yeah, we'll see what this Shanks looks like, and I'm like, realistically, I'll probably never see it. Let's be real.
Yep.
Well, we are caught up on all of the cards. Those are the cards from One Piece Day stream, and we'll have to see what else comes out in OP13 because I think there's probably a couple more cards left.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think somebody posted. Let me see if I can find it. The number of like missing black cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 missing black cards.
Holy!
Now probably they won't all be related to Emu because we know that they sometimes release like one-offs, but we should expect at least maybe 2 or 3 more for Emu. So it might just be a deck that is completely buildable on arrival. You don't even have to go digging through old sets.
It already seems pretty strong. So like, I'm assuming the remaining 8 cards are like Gecko support or something.
That's the natural conclusion.
Of course,
Of course.
No, it's support for OPO3 Lucci.
I was just quickly running back through the cards, and I think all of the Celestial Dragons or the 5 Elders are rares, and the 10 cost is a super rare. There might be another SR then.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, there's potential for another SR. I don't remember where we're at for SR reveals across the set though. I think we might be a cap.
Okay, I think it's usually 1 to 2 per color.
Yeah, but I mean across colors, it's almost always the same number, and then they've also added another secret rare. I don't know if that's occupying a slot.
They also changed the number based on starter decks that release in between. So in this case, blue has extra, so blue they might short the SR because I think it's so far just what's announced for SRs for blue. Actually, no, they've already announced a Newgate and is the Yamato SR? I think it is.
This Yamato's SR.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, they're probably just throwing it all over and be like, you know what? Everyone gets 2 or 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they would give Emu another SR. That would seem like a little bit excessive because like it's kind of the way it's set up right now is kind of beautiful from just like a
kind of like with Blackbeard on release, right?
Hierarchical, standpoint. But definitely, I think I'm curious to see what other 2K they give because I think they will definitely give the 8 2K thing like they did with Blackbeard. This really seems like they're following the model that was set out by good old Teach.
What's going to be kind of like I think annoying is like I think Emu will be playable on launch if you just have the cards from the set. I think Roger will be.
Yeah.
Luffy likely won't because every time you dip into red and green and Straw Hat typing, you got to go back into the histories of that deck.
Yeah.
I think Sabo, you probably can't because there's a lot of Dressrosa cards from OPO4 that can get reprinted, a lot of stuff.
Rev Army.
And then for Ace, like you got to go, like Whitebeard typing has existed since OPO2, so like, I think it's like I think the 3 Bros decks are gonna be the hard ones to build because of this history, and then like the other ones will be like I think Bonnie will be pretty easy to build outside of the Lilith Searcher, which I think may or may not have reprint in PRB. I actually never checked. Who knows? But they weren't expensive anyway, so you can always grab them. But it'll be kind of interesting to see that like was that intentional? Like here's 3 decks that are like super easy to build. And then here's 3 that you will have to go back in the history, but they're also 3 like loved characters.
It's a good balance.
And I think this is a deck that's going to bring a lot of people to the game, and it's like one people will really want to play. So I think it also makes sense to make it as easy as possible to put this deck together.
Yeah.
I mean, the cards are still going to be a little bit expensive, I think, because everyone will want to build this. But you only really need cards from this set. So if you're a newer player or you're someone who hasn't been keeping up with all of the sets, you can just like come back in and find these cards everywhere in the scene. People will have them. People will be trading them. I think that's really good because this just seems like a deck that everyone wants to play. And then when I was playing the deck too, I felt like this is a really just like nice deck to play. It's got a very clear win con. There's a little bit of skill involved in terms of like what you trash and what you do, but it's not actually like it didn't feel like excessively skillful. So I think on arrival especially, it'll be just like a fun deck for people to play. And I actually don't think it'll be too overpowered.
Yeah.
That it's going to become a tier 0 deck or something like that. We'll see. But
yeah,
makes sense. I think even like I think we brought this up last time, or we've brought it kind of like up in different ways. I feel like the balancing kind of philosophy that Bandai has is they just want to create a super wide diversity where I think if they're able to hit some of the peak points and the highest power levels in some of the certain leaders, the diversity can be so diverse that like you're gonna have to play a spread of like 19 leaders, which is kind of what we always wanted. Like a wide spread, and something might just be like a bad matchup for you, but like that kind of makes it easier to balance the game for longevity if there is just this like a lot of diversity and kind of it mellows out. It'll like kind of self-regulate, I guess, and then like this will go up and this, oh, suddenly this beats this, and like all that stuff happen. But who knows? But it kind of feels like they're going for that diversity, which is always something that's like good, a sign of, I guess, for me personally, I think it's a sign of good balance. It's kind of like in League of Legends, like the champion, like the number of champions played at Worlds of the entire pool tells you how diverse the meta is.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, it'll be a very exciting set. I know I'm going to try to get to as many release events as I can because I have no pre-orders in.
Yeah.
But I think this one will probably sell out very quickly.
Yes.
Like OP12, there's still a lot of tickets everywhere that I'm seeing. But
yeah, I think this is that's. I really hope we can get some really good distribution for this. I don't think we will, but this is going to be like your typical anniversary set where buyer be warned. It's going to be at least $200 a box. It's going to sell out. It's going to go up to $250 a box, maybe even $300 before Christmas is over. And that's just going to be the world of this set. Hopefully, again, there's enough product that doesn't happen, but it happens year after year. So I think that will be just probably an inevitability. But what we did see with OP9, which Bandai did a good job of, is the second wave did come pretty early in January, and then from that point on, things felt pretty good. The box price came down. It's still going to be an expensive set, but it's going to initially be out of reach. I think it's going to like shoot up, going to be impossible to get, sold out everywhere, expensive on release, and then hopefully they're quick to get that second and third wave in and get the product to the people, because there's a lot going on in this set.
Luckily, it feels like there's a decent number of playables in this and pretty good hits, like in all different forms of alt arts, that it won't feel as bad as like certain sets that you buy and you're going to be like, oh, I have nothing in here. It feels like there's a little bit of something for everyone here. Like my chase is definitely going to be the ace base leader. Like just I get that, I'm happy. And like everything else,
and we will have the benefit of seeing like Japan meta, and then also that might shape things as well. Like let's see what decks are good. I actually don't envy Japan too much. I mean, it's going to be us in a year, but it's like, can you imagine like this is just coming out soon in Japan? Like I don't know what deck I'm going to play. I don't even know what cards to get. And like it's going to be hard to get the cards because everybody wants the cards. So so you have to like print proxies and tests to try and figure out like what you want, because it's going to be hard to get everything on release, right? So we will get, at least for now, we will get to actually see kind of what the meta looks like in Japan. So we'll plan ahead.
Well, I'm excited to do some testing. I will make some ace/Bonnie lists because I love those. I love the aggro meta.
Yeah, possibly maybe we can like record some games or something like that of some of these new. I know lots of people are doing that right now, but I think we'd have some interesting takes. There's a few things like that I really want to test with Ibu that are a little bit less standard. Like I don't really want to test like the full list as it looks. I want to start like mixing in other cards and seeing like how much can I get away with not playing Celestial Dragon stuff in this deck and playing some of the other interesting black cards. So
I'm excited to play Flame Emperor and KO almost anybody in the game right now and swing 9k with double attack.
different priorities.
I'm excited to swing at face for 9k.
Solid. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Some fun store stuff. If you guys are like, we will be shipping out your fresh new deck boxes. They're here. The Mermero and Hana. It is. I'm so excited. I'm so lucky Maya's helping me tomorrow, so we can make sure most of your orders go out. And we are so ahead of schedule, which is good. Because we were planning, just for safety, we said, you guys will see this in September 15th, but we knew it was gonna be earlier, but we just didn't want a situation where we like are telling you this date and then like, oh, something happened with shipping, something happened with cuts, so yeah, they'll be shipping like literally tomorrow is when we're gonna start pushing everything out. And that's exciting. And then on top of that, we had the new plan that we launched last week, but then this month we have like 3 more coming out. So there's just a lot.
Not included.
So we have lots of stuff coming out. A lot of you have been asking about custom leaders too. We're getting back to custom leaders as well. So like there's just so much stuff coming out this month and like going on between now and the end of the year for us and those who love One Piece card games. So yeah, stay tuned for that stuff. And super excited to see you guys submit your bingo cards. So if you guys are watching this video afterwards and you haven't seen part 1 of this video, which is about the ban bingo, the ban list bingo, go check that video out. and submit before the 16th so you can get a chance to win a free deck box or playmat of your choice free shipping. So that's better. So lots of stuff for everyone. That's TLDR.
Yeah,
it is.
And please like, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow us on social media and all that. But really follow us so that you can tweet at us and tell us what you think about
Yes.
Email Leader and join the discussion, and also let us know your feedback as well.
Yeah.
We're still building this podcast thing. We're doing like more long form content now. We've been trying short. So just let us know what you like, what you don't like.
Let us know when our take is too hot.
When it's too hot, exactly.
Yeah, or not hot enough. But
Yeah.
It's always an exciting time to be a One Piece fan.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining us as always and for tuning in. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Take care, folks.